Welcome back to a very special episode of the Cinema Clubhouse podcast. I am Travis.
And I'm Will.
And in the spirit of March Madness, we decided it'd be a good idea to do a movie March Madness. So, Will, we're making a movie bracket with action movies.
I love it.
In the spirit of March Madness, in the same kind of format. And we're going to debate on, we've already come up with a list of 16 movies that we've agreed upon.
Yep.
And from there, we're going to debate which ones move on and which ones get tossed to the side until there is only one who remains the king of all action movies.
The champion will be crowned, Travis.
They will. Tell us how it's going to work.
Here's how it's going to work, Travis. Like you said, we did jointly decide on our top favorite 16 action movies. We're not going to do a bracket of 64.
That's
We're not
too
trying
long.
to make a 4-hour video.
Yeah.
But we decided jointly these are our top 16 favorites. Each of the first round matchups were going to be randomly drawn from this trusty green hat here.
The trusty handy dandy green hat.
So we have no idea what these matchups are going to be first round.
That's going to be interesting.
We could have some bloodbaths.
Yeah.
We could have some easy arguments.
We might have a 1 and 2 matchup in the first round.
Exactly.
You never know.
Exactly. So what we're going to do, we're going to debate which movie advances. If we come to an agreement, that movie moves on. If for some reason we come to a stalemate, which I have a feeling that might happen.
It could happen. It definitely could.
We needed a tiebreaker.
Okay.
So we're going to keep it simple. In case of a stalemate, the tiebreaker is Rotten Tomatoes score.
Okay, that's fair.
Simple enough.
Yeah, easy.
Objective. No argument.
Now, what happens if the Rotten Tomatoes score is the same?
You know what? Luckily, Travis, there's a couple of Rotten Tomatoes
That's goodwill.
So hopefully we don't run into that. But if
for some reason they're all the same, then those two are destined to both move on, and we'll figure something else out.
We'll figure something else out. So that's
Okay.
what there'll be. What is it? 15 matchups.
Yep.
That'll decide who the ultimate action movie
The
winner
ultimate
is.
champion of action movies. I like it, Will.
I love March Madness, Travis.
I do too. It's a lot. To me, it's too much to focus on.
Yeah.
It's too much going on, but it is fun. It is fun to, pick some upsets that might happen.
You might see some upsets.
There might be
within
upsets
these-
today. Will.
Yeah.
You never know.
Some surprise, appearances on this bracket. Kind of the good way to look at this one is we're already in the Sweet 16. We've had
That's right.
the craziness that happened in the first 2 rounds. Probably had some upsets happen.
Probably.
Who was strong enough to make it out of that first weekend?
Yeah.
That's what we said. The serious contenders.
And the beauty of the Sweet 16 is there might be some people you're like, how the heck did they get here? Yeah. And it's the luck of the bracket,
They got a
matchup
lucky draw.
Yeah.
They knocked out a pretender who thought they were a contender.
That's right. All right, well, I'm excited to get into this.
Yeah.
So like we said, we don't know what the matchup's going to be until we draw the names.
Until I draw the names, Travis.
Okay. Will, you are in charge of this whole bracket.
I know.
No
the
pressure.
Power.
All right, let's get that first matchup.
All right, first round. Here we go. I'm nervous, Travis.
I'm nervous it's not an action movie.
All right, the first selection, we're doing our live selection during the actual tournament here.
Oh, man.
We've got Fast 5.
Fast 5, okay.
Versus Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Wow, okay.
This is an interesting one.
That's an interesting matchup that you probably wouldn't think that you would see.
Yeah.
Those matched up ever.
You don't see mashups. You don't see the two spoken about in the same vein, in the same conversation.
I don't think so. I don't think they share any similarities, but they are movies.
They're both action-packed, Travis.
That's right.
Great action movies, the both of them.
Yes.
Both franchise movies.
Yes.
I feel like, we've got a history here.
Yeah.
And so I think we both know where we're leaning on this one, but
I think so.
let me play devil's advocate on this one before before the inevitable.
Okay.
So Fast 5, the fifth entry in the franchise.
To the long line of fast movies.
Like basically the halfway point.
There we go. Yeah.
Both of these series have at least 5 movies.
Yeah.
Fast 5 is definitely better than Indy 5.
That is for sure.
Yeah. Fast 5, I think, maybe consensus, maybe not, but I think a lot of people agree is the best of the Fast series, kind of rejuvenated.
Yeah, it kind of rebooted itself.
Yeah, that's the point where it switched from street racing, small time heists to
full on Point Break, James Bond feel.
Ocean's 11, Italian Job.
Yeah.
But I love Fast Five. Any other matchup, I might have a stronger argument, but
The Last Crusade against a beloved movie of both of ours.
It's both of our favorite indies.
It's true. It is
because it's the best indie.
That's right. I hope you heard that, Damien. Yeah, I mean that interesting matchup. I definitely feel like Indy. I mean, it is action packed, but it seems less actiony compared to some of the others on this list. But I understand why it needs to be in there.
It's not full throttle.
No, but it definitely is.
It has some great set pieces.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, it's very exciting. But yeah, I think the first round has to go in Indy's favor.
Yeah,
Indy has to move.
Indy is the blue blood in this matchup.
Yeah.
That's the right term.
I mean, it's a term that we're using now, Will.
Yeah, we're going with it. No, they're the kind of, they've been in the tournament before. Their season, like Sweet 16's not really anything new for this one. Fast Five is maybe kind of an upstart. Like,
yeah,
maybe they won their tournament bracket. That was how they got in.
It could
conference tournament.
And it seems like the Fast Five team might be stealing something that Indy is also trying to get.
Yeah.
It could be a rivalry to who can get it first, but I give the upper hand to Indy.
I think
because the cars are pretty slow back in the 40s.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Last Crusade moves
on.
First matchup is done. Yep. Fast Five is out of the tournament. All right, next matchup.
This could be a crazy one, Travis. We got a little bit lucky our first time around.
I think so. I wasn't like,
Here we go.
Two number ones.
That felt like a Sweet 16 matchup.
Yeah, it did.
Next round, we have Mad Max Fury Road.
Oh, no.
Versus.
Oh, no.
RRR.
Or RRR to those who call it that.
However you want to describe it.
Okay. That also an interesting matchup.
Yeah.
One I've not seen RRR.
Okay.
But I do know about it.
Okay.
So I'm gonna have to lean on you, Will, to fight for it.
Yeah, this is another one where I feel like it's a losing battle, and I can concede that. But
yes,
I love any chance I can to promote RRR.
Yes,
it's a movie that I randomly heard about, watched it on a random night, and
a random surprise movie.
It blew my socks off. It's just nonstop. It's a 3-hour movie, but it feels like it's an hour and a half.
That's great.
It's nonstop. It's definitely, wait, let me think about it. I'm like 99% sure it's the only movie in this bracket that has an actual dance number in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Middle of the movie, the dance number. And it's great, Travis.
And it's amazing.
It's great. It's very hyper real kind of movie. Like, the two leads are pretty much superheroes without saying they're superheroes. Like, they're doing these crazy things, but yeah, it's awesome. You definitely should watch it.
It's on my list to watch. Again, a 3-hour movie is a big undertaking when you're like, man, it's already 10 and now's not the time. But I will watch it, I promise.
And it has an intermission of sorts.
Okay.
So
is that not the dance number?
That's not the dance number. Wow. No.
Intermission and dance number.
Yeah. Those all happened before the intermission.
How did it not win Best Picture? I mean, come on.
You know what? The song that the dance number happened to did win Best Song.
Well, there you go.
Not to.
That's close enough.
But I mean, Mad Max Fury Road.
I think Mad Max has to take it.
It was a Best Picture nominee.
Yeah. Another interesting matchup. Again, feels like a tournament matchup.
Yeah.
You get into the bracket, somebody, and with these, it's not it's tough because it's about, this matchup right now is what's in front of us. And you're like, golly, if this would have played something else, it could have made it a lot further.
RRR definitely has the feeling of that 13-14 seed that pulled the upset twice. They're that mid-major team that had a 26-2 record on the season, but no one was paying attention.
Right.
Until the tournament.
Yeah.
And now people are paying
attention. And it was too late for some people
to
pay attention. Yeah. I think Mad Max has to take it.
Yeah.
Fury Road is an amazing action movie.
Yeah.
So
maybe the best pure action movie in the whole tournament.
It might be. Yeah. So has to move on.
All right, Mad Max.
Okay.
That's going to be an interesting second round matchup.
Yeah. All Yikes. Right.
All right, we're moving through it.
Moving through. Next matchup.
Next random. There's still a lot of heavy hitters out here, Travis.
I hope so.
All right. We've got Terminator 2 Judgment Day.
Oh, Lord.
Versus The Bourne Identity.
Okay.
This is another interesting one.
Another interesting matchup. Arguments for both.
Yeah.
Both very different type of action.
Yeah.
Obviously one's very heavily sci-fi. So, there's not a lot of robot action in The Bourne Identity, but
robotic action a little bit.
Okay, yeah.
But
so kind of fits in there.
Yeah. They both kind of push the genre forward in their own way.
Yeah.
After T2, I feel like that influenced action movies for a while.
For a hot minute. It definitely did.
And then same with Bourne.
Yeah. It kind of changed. They both kind of changed the style for like the next 10 years after they came out, to where people tried to emulate that kind of feel. That is an interesting matchup. I think I have to go with that T2.
It's it's unfortunate.
It is.
I felt like The Bourne Identity just got a terrible draw.
He got a terrible matchup.
They got put in the wrong region.
Yeah.
Where like if they were in another one, it might have been a smoother path to the Final Four.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they ran into maybe the tournament favorite in the Sweet 16.
Yep.
And the story's got
the Cinderella story ended.
Yeah. I wouldn't necessarily call it a Cinderella story.
No.
They were probably like a 4 seed.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely a favorite in some areas of the bracket, but not when you get matched up against a powerhouse like this. Yeah. I do love the Bourne Identity movies. It kind of restarted a new genre of action, and kind of that, super immersed into the fights where you might throw up if you watch it too long.
The Bourne Identity a little less so. Like the movie, as the movies progress, they got a little bit more shaky cam, like heavy.
They definitely like let's lean into that. But it was a very and Matt Damon as an action star was kind of when you read that on paper, you're like man, I don't know. And then
I think Bourne Identity also runs into an issue that some of these others might, that are also in franchises, which is we were honestly flipped with a coin as to if that was the right Bourne movie for this bracket. Yeah.
Argument for any of the main three. They all hit hard, and
any given day I'm leaning Ultimatum.
Yeah, it's tough. I kind of lean more towards the introduction to it. Yeah. Just because it started the whole journey. But I think unfortunately for Jason Bourne,
Bourne's journey is coming to an end.
It's over in the tournament. But
Jason Bourne, hell of a fighter.
Yeah.
Doesn't stand much of a chance against 2 Terminators.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe against Sarah. Maybe
against Sarah. All right. 3 matchups down. Our next matchup is The Matrix.
Oh, baby.
Versus.
Oh, no.
Leon the Professional.
Okay. Again, very kind of different.
Very different.
I mean, kind of different.
Go on, Travis.
I mean, did you see Gary Oldman in there? He was definitely in The Matrix. Okay.
He was a Matrix character, yeah.
That both great movies. I think obviously there is a favorite. So far, it's been pretty clean.
The matchups have been kind to us so far.
Yeah.
They're going to get.
I mean, I think we're getting to the point where it's going to
we see where the matchups are heading for the next round. It's going to be much tougher.
Yeah.
Like the tournament itself.
Yeah. I mean, I think it mirrors what a tournament bracket does.
Yeah.
Obviously, you want to see teams win that just can't, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I love both of these movies.
Yeah.
They're both very different. Hard to compare them, you know, against each other. But obviously, in The Matrix,
one is revolutionary.
Yeah, one is revolutionary for the action genre. The other one's just
a great action movie.
It's just good. Yeah.
And the introduction to one of my favorite actors, Natalie Portman.
Yeah. And I mean, an unhinged Gary Oldman performance that does not get talked about enough.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people I've talked to haven't even seen this movie, let alone even really know what it is. And I'm like, that's crazy.
I forget, how close did it come out to Fifth Element? Because he had two unhinged performances.
Yeah, I feel like it was close.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it got overshadowed by The Fifth Element.
Yeah.
And this one was more of a independent feeling movie than The Fifth Element was kind of a bigger budget.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're both unhinged performances from Gary Oldman.
Yeah.
And both have great action.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I think it's easy.
Yeah.
Matrix wins. Easy.
I'm making it easy on us, not intentionally.
No.
But
Matrix moves on. I mean.
Yeah. That's it. Sorry, Leon. Watch Leon if you have not seen Leon the Professional.
Yes, please do. It's an amazing movie.
All right.
I'm scared for the next match.
We have one region secured in the Elite Eight.
All right.
On to the next region. We have... You're trying to peek, Travis?
I'm scared.
Blank. No.
Blank. It's my favorite action movie of all time.
We have Kill Bill.
Okay.
The entire 2 parts.
It's both parts.
I mean, if Tarantino says that's what it is.
It's one movie.
It's one movie.
It's one long movie.
Kill Bill versus Taken.
Okay.
This is an interesting
one. One's a little more interesting.
Yeah.
A little less clear cut who the winner is going to be.
I'm definitely leaning one, but I want to have a conversation about this one.
I remember Taken was a movie that kind of it didn't launch like a genre, but it
kind of did.
But it kind of did, where you're just like...
It launched the Liam Neeson.
Well, yeah, launched Liam Neeson as an action star in his 50s is what it launched.
Yeah.
But I remember that movie was a surprise.
Yeah.
Like how good it was.
Was that... I forget if that one, like, the trailer kind of put it on people's radar, like...
Yeah, I feel like it did have a good, you know, trailer leaning into it, but what a surprise that movie was.
Yeah,
and what a classic. Like it turned into a household. It made Liam Neeson a household action hero.
It made him an action hero for 10 years after that.
Yeah,
pretty much.
To where every movie was taken, but wherever he was, on a plane.
Yeah.
In a bus, he has no memory. Whatever.
It's not quite the like Die Hard on a whatever like phenomenon, but
it shares similarities to that, where people try to recreate that kind of
It definitely does, and like it's coming right off the heels of Bourne.
Yeah.
So another one that Bourne kind of influenced.
Yeah.
At least in terms of like fighting styles and like how they capture that.
Yeah, more gritty, just like more like less choreographed and more kind of all over the place.
Yeah, he's definitely not the out of his what's the word? What am I trying to say here? He's not out of his element.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's a professional.
Yeah,
come out of hiding.
Right. It's the retired crazy super agent now needs to get those skills back for more time.
In the same way that Taken was kind of influenced a little by Bourne, it was almost kind of like John Wick before John Wick.
Yeah. It's kind of like what John Wick became.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then on the other side, Kill Bill is, just fun martial art packed action. Just a bloody Quentin Tarantino mess of a movie in a good way.
Yeah. Honestly, I think it might have been my introduction to Tarantino.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, at that point, I think he had only done like Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction.
Jackie Brown.
So, I mean, already established. I feel like Kill Bill, he had the prestige of Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
But then Kill Bill kind of took him to another.
Yeah.
He kind of became a little bit more in the zeitgeist for different reasons.
Yeah. And I mean, it brought like Uma Thurman back into the leading lady.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of great action in it. Some iconic scenes.
And different action.
Yeah. And not your typical.
Especially when we talk about it as one film.
Right.
I mean, the first one is basically like anime and like,
kind of classic martial arts.
Arts films. And the second one is a little bit more like Western sort of revenge tale.
Yeah.
Still with the fights, but like even the fights in that one are a little bit more like close quarters.
Yeah. This is an interesting matchup.
Yeah.
I could see it going either way.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'd probably vote Taken.
Ooh.
I think.
Travis.
I think, as much as I love Tarantino.
Travis.
I think it just, to me, it did, it gave us a genre of more action movies.
Yeah.
So I'm weighing it to like its impact on other action movies. I don't feel like we've gotten, that's Kill Bill, really. It kind of has lived in its own.
But maybe that's my reason for going Kill Bill here.
That's good.
It's very singular in its vision.
Yeah.
There's not a lot. I mean, it imitates a lot of genres, but it's also its unique thing.
Yeah.
I'm leaning Kill Bill here,
okay.
Travis.
Okay. And again, I can see why.
Yeah. This is definitely two very similar seeds.
Yeah,
I feel like
I think if you're weighing them as action, just strictly action, I do think Kill Bill has to take it, just because it is.
Oh, are you folding? I thought we were gonna.
No, I think it's more of the story is the action.
Yeah,
Taken is like that's just a tool that he has. The story is getting his daughter back.
Yeah.
So I think in the action bracket, it would have to win.
Oh, Taken, you're saying?
No, Kill Bill.
Oh, Kill Bill.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's close, though. I could go either way.
I thought we almost had our first tiebreaker here, Travis.
No. Somebody's got to take that last shot, Will.
I know.
Somebody's got to win the game.
So you're going Kill Bill?
Yeah.
At the buzzer?
At the buzzer. I think...
Kill Bill at the buzzer.
I think Kill Bill at the buzzer.
Okay. All right. On we go.
On we go.
First... we've got Independence Day.
Classic
versus... this is going to be a weird matchup no matter what it is.
Yeah.
Mission Impossible Fallout.
Ooh. Okay.
Very hard comparison.
Yeah, it's hard to compare those.
Yeah.
That's a weird matchup in the afternoon where you're like, I didn't even know these two teams were in the bracket.
Yeah.
Type thing.
Yeah, this is like a 7 versus a a 9.
A 9 or 10, something like that.
I'm forgetting how these brackets come.
However, those middle numbers, we're in the middle numbers. Yeah. There's great action in Independence Day.
Yeah. There's
iconic lines in Independence Day.
Yeah.
And Independence Day is a great movie.
Yeah.
Mission Impossible Fallout is an amazing movie.
Yeah, I mean, this is one where Mission Impossible is one of those series where a number of them could have been in this bracket.
Yep.
We purposely did not include multiple from the same series.
Yeah, that's not fair.
So Fallout was our champion of
the
bunch. There's been 7 of them.
I think
the 6th one is the best.
I do. Yeah.
So far.
And again, we've talked about Mission Impossible before.
Yeah.
the best to worst is not like a huge gap or a big deal.
No.
Like it's not like, yeah, that one sucked.
No.
Mission Impossible is a solid franchise that has great entries. But yeah, I think Fallout is just above them.
Yeah, and it's with Mission Impossible, it's very much like each movie is distinguished by like a certain stunt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, Fallout, it's the Halo jump.
Yeah.
And Tom Cruise breaking his foot.
Yeah. On the building. Yeah.
You got the Burj Khalifa and
yeah.
4. You got the plane. Hold on to the plane. You know.
Yeah, and then we got the beauty that is MI2.
I love MI2.
I love MI2.
I love all the Mission Impossible movies.
I do too.
You know, it's the least like the others.
Yeah,
but
still great.
I love it for that.
It's still great.
But yeah, Mission Impossible Fallout, for me, it's the best one. You know, at least today.
Yeah.
Ask me a week from now, I might say a different one, but it's the best one because I think it has like the best stakes in it with the best action. It just it feels like a culmination of a lot of them, even though that's kind of what they're doing with the newest ones.
Right.
But yeah, it's great.
It's a good one.
Great villain and Henry Cavill.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great movie. I remember I saw that. I think I was in Utah for Comic-Con, and I was like, let's just go see this. And I was like, damn, that was great.
Yeah.
I was like, man, why are we talking about this more? That was crazy. The sixth one is that good? I was like, dang.
I know.
They're getting better.
But Independence Day.
Independence Day.
It's, like you said earlier, it's iconic.
Yeah.
It's, you know, it wasn't the first movie I ever saw in theaters, but it's one of them that I like remember seeing in the theater.
Yeah.
Early on, and terrified me, excited me.
Yeah.
Like you said, great moments, great speeches.
Great speeches.
Kind of, I mean, I can't remember it. I think it might have come out after Bad Boys. So like Will Smith was already established.
Yeah.
As an action star, sort of, but Independence Day, like,
really
made him
put it over the top.
Like A-list action star. And like I said, great action. Like, it's scary, it's exciting, it pushed the visual effects medium forward.
Oh yeah.
I feel like, you know, like Jurassic, like T2, then Jurassic Park, then Independence Day, like that, like trifecta. You know, the miniatures and blowing up the White House, and
it was great.
Yeah. Great trailer too.
Great trailer. It's a great movie, Will. I mean, it's
singular. You know? There is no sequel to it. They never made a sequel.
They never even tried.
Why would they try? I don't know. One movie that came out almost 30 years ago.
It's again, there's great action in both.
Yeah.
Tough matchup. I think this one comes down to clock's ticking away and it's going back and forth, and
this one feels like an overtime game.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I'm a flip of the coin here, Travis.
Yeah. With the last matchup, it's same kind of like either team, whoever's going to have the ball last is probably going to win.
For me, it comes down to this.
Okay.
Mission Impossible Fallout is my favorite Mission Impossible today.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where, like, if I want to watch Mission Impossible, I want to do a marathon of them. Mm-hmm. It isn't like I want to watch Mission Impossible Fallout. It's like I want to watch all of them.
Right.
Independence Day, and it might just be for nostalgic reasons.
Yeah.
It's Independence Day. You know,
welcome to Earth. I mean, come on.
Welcome to Earth. I think I'm going Independence Day on this one, Travis.
Wow. I'm a little shocked, Will.
I think I'm going to lose the tiebreaker here, but this one had the makings of a barn burner.
Yeah.
A knockout, drag out fight, like two powerhouses that have championship aspirations, but it's got to come to an end for one.
Yep. That's tough. And again, I'm weighing it same as you.
Mm-hmm.
Grew up with it,
Mm-hmm.
so it's hard to forget it, and just overlook it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough.
What are you leaning, Travis?
I'm stuck in the middle, man.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah, I think I'd have to go Mission Impossible.
Mission Impossible.
I think so.
All right, we got our first tiebreaker here.
We got it. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I know where this one lands, but we want to see. Do you have it pulled up?
I will get it pulled up.
Okay.
Okay. With a 68% score.
Independence Day.
Independence Day.
Okay.
All right. And with a 98% score, Mission Impossible.
98?
Yes.
Wow, that's the critic score?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
88 audience score.
Wow. That's crazy.
So that moves on.
Mission Impossible Fallout. All right.
Moves on. That's a good matchup.
It was good.
Good matchup.
It was a good one. All right. We've got our last 2 matchups here. There's still some heavy hitters coming.
Yeah.
All right. Our next
It
matchup.
only gets worse from here.
We've got Die Hard
Oh, no.
versus
I already know what you're going to say.
John
I
Wick.
knew it.
Okay.
Oh. Wow.
Poor Baba Yaga here. I got to say.
What a matchup, though.
It's, yep, two heavyweights.
Yeah, these are the two, big schools that are facing off
Yeah.
with a rich history of winning. They've been in this tournament before. It's not new to them. Yeah, both iconic in their, respective when they came out. Kind of changed the trajectory for movies to follow.
Both kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah, both kind of just like sleeper films. You're just like, okay. And you're like, whoa, that was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if you pit the characters versus each other, there might be a different result than what's going to happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, both heavy hitters, both great. I think, obviously, for us, we feel the same way.
I think so.
I think so.
I think we do. Yeah. I mean, both spawned long-running series.
Mm-hmm.
One a little longer running just because of the gaps between films. But
yeah.
I mean, Keanu Reeves might be our shared favorite action star. I don't know.
Yeah.
He's definitely in the conversation, one or two probably.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, there's already been other movies on this bracket with him in it.
Yep.
There might be one more, I think.
Maybe.
But yeah, I mean, the John Wick movies, for me, they kind of almost progressively get better. Like,
yeah.
I think you have to like cite the first one just because it is the first and it introduced you to the world.
Yeah, well, and it just feels like an action movie, though. It feels like the story's not complex.
Action. No.
It's very
simple. But the
simple.
world is.
Yes, the world is, but simple story.
Yeah.
And then you're in it. It's just fun. Yeah. And again, it has spawned kind of a new genre of people try to copy that. But yeah,
people love a good revenge story.
Yeah,
with assassins, and
it's fun. It's
every
fun world to be in.
Third person is an assassin in this universe.
That's right.
Somehow
everybody's an assassin. There's
and they're
no normal
and they're all in New York.
That's it.
And some are in Paris.
Yeah. But yeah, I think Die Hard is the winner.
Yeah, I mean, we can talk about it a little bit more, but maybe we want to save that discussion for future rounds. But yeah, Die Hard is Die Hard.
It's Die Hard.
Die Hard spawned a whole genre of action movie.
Oh, and it turned Bruce Willis into an overnight success.
Yeah, it made Bruce Willis an action star.
Yeah, I mean, Keanu Reeves was already pretty established before John Wick.
For sure.
So
especially in the action genre.
Yeah, and so I think for what it did for
Yeah.
Bruce Willis was more impactful.
Yeah.
But again, tough. That's a tough matchup. Again, you're going to have these matchups.
It's tough because you have. I mean, we picked these 16 for a reason.
Yeah.
Like they're our favorites. We love all of them.
Yep.
You know, that opinion is probably shared for a lot of these with other people watching. But Die Hard is Die Hard.
Yeah.
It's one of those movies that is always in that conversation of greatest action movie.
Yeah.
For a reason.
Yeah.
For that reason, you know, John Wick just got a tough draw.
He's got a tough matchup.
There's a lot of other movies.
There's a lot of matchups you would have favored really well against.
Them, but this is one of those brutal ones.
But that's the beauty of the bracket. Anybody can win it.
Anybody can win. So
Die Hard moves on.
Die Hard. So we are in our last matchup of the first round here, Travis.
Oh, man.
I think I remember what we picked, but I kind of also
know
forgot.
one of them. I don't remember the other one.
All right. We've got Lethal Weapon versus Speed.
Wow.
I was right. We did have another Keanu on this list.
Yep.
That's three. Three of the 16 were Keanu here.
That's pretty powerful.
This is a very interesting matchup.
Yeah. Both give off similar vibes. Mm-hmm. This one's tough. This one's a tough one.
One is a continuation of the Die Hard on a genre.
That's right.
But great in its own right.
Yes.
Great action, great performances. Keanu and
great suspense and just
Keanu and Sandra Bullock.
Yeah.
Great chemistry.
Yep.
The other, maybe the prototype for buddy cop.
Yeah.
Movie
with also great chemistry from the two leads.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't. I'm not saying it was the first buddy cop movie, but
it definitely set it up how you do it.
Like, do a buddy cop movie, like they're thinking Lethal Weapon.
Yeah.
Like, that was the one.
Mel Gibson's unhinged in this movie.
Unhinged.
And I love it. I'm all for unhinged Mel Gibson.
Yeah. In movies.
Once the camera's rolling. When it stops, I prefer not unhinged.
Yeah.
This is an interesting matchup. I feel like I'm leaning one way, but it depends on the day of the week, really.
It's tough. I mean, I feel like some of the set pieces in Speed are more memorable.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the bridge jump.
Yeah.
The train, the subway jump.
Yeah.
All
the jumps.
The airport. You know.
Hitting the baby carriage.
Wildcat. You know.
Yeah.
Lethal Weapon, I think, is like kind of propelled by the two lead performances. Like, you know, you want to keep coming back to the Lethal Weapon series to hang out with Riggs and Murtaugh.
Yeah.
You know, it's, you know, more of a trendsetter than Speed. It's, you know, it wasn't our introduction to Shane Black, but I think Lethal Weapon and Predator both same year, like Shane Black kind of double dipping.
Yeah.
It gave us that kind of like feel. There's other movies that have that feel, but Lethal Weapon's the original one.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough. It's a tough matchup for me.
Yeah.
Again, it just depends on.
I think it's
what mood I'm in.
I was about to say, like, if you ask me any given day, like, which one do you want to watch right now, it's usually going to be Speed.
Mm-hmm.
But is that a reason to move it forward?
Yeah.
It might be.
It might be.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know if I can. This is a unique matchup. It's one I didn't expect.
Yeah. two very different philosophies. One's a run and gun kind of offense. The other is more of a possession team.
Like time of possession.
They want to squeeze the clock. They don't want it to be a high scoring game.
Yeah.
I think you know which one is which.
Yeah. I think just based on our list, one Keanu did move on.
Yeah.
One fell. In this matchup, I think I'm leaning Lethal Weapon.
I think by a hair. I think this was one where Lethal Weapon had a 3-point lead in the final possession.
Mm-hmm.
Speed missed their three, had to foul.
Yeah, just didn't get it.
Lethal Weapon took it. They held on.
Wow.
Lethal Weapon.
Only one.
There was someone here I thought were going to move on that didn't.
Well, and that's the thing about the matchups, Will.
Yeah.
Anything can happen. So now we got the Elite Eight.
The Elite Eight. Boy, are they elite.
And this is going to be rough.
This is going to be a bloodbath, Travis. Like, the first round was kind to us for most of the matchups.
Most of them, there was a clear-cut winner for the most part. Now it's going to be a discussion.
We have zero runaways in this one.
Yeah.
So you wanted to start from the beginning?
Let's do it.
First matchup.
All right.
Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade versus Mad Max Fury Road.
Yikes.
Again, a very different matchup.
Very different matchup. Similar color tones, I feel. I feel kind of warm, deserty. Yeah.
Jinx. Very nice.
Podcast over.
I know.
I can't talk. Yeah, this one's hard.
It comes down to kind of what we are going to favor as style that we like moving on.
Yeah.
I think one is a better film, if you will.
Yeah.
The other is just frenetic chaos for an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah, and then Sean Connery, Yeah, no, these are very different. They definitely have a different approach to the game.
Yeah.
In this matchup. Strictly action, I feel like one outweighs the other one.
For sure.
But again, this is an action bracket. It's not just movie bracket. Arguments for both sides.
I mean, that's kind of the way I felt coming out of Fury Road, seeing it the first time. It was like, I think I loved it.
Yeah. I felt tired.
I felt tired.
Like, I just went through a lot.
It also felt like eating a bunch of candy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's definitely like a rush, a high.
Yeah.
Last Crusade was it had more down-to-earth, heartfelt moments where your adrenaline wasn't going the whole time.
Yeah.
Fury Road just starts and doesn't stop until it's done.
Yeah.
It's just fire and gasoline. That's what that movie is. But I think as an action, I'm leaning towards Mad Max. Just on a movie though, I definitely like Last Crusade more.
But that's interesting. I mean, they're both great movies too. This is interesting. I think it's all about matchups for sure. Mm-hmm. And kind of what I'm thinking about what the next round is going to be.
Yeah.
I think, and maybe we're getting predictable here, Travis.
Okay.
But while I acknowledge Mad Max Fury Road might be the most action left in this bracket, Indy just has a little more to offer.
Yeah.
And so just kind of thinking about that and like future, I feel like Mad Max is that team that like got super hot the first weekend, just like mold over teams. Then they had that week between games.
Yeah.
Kind of lost that steam a little bit.
Yeah.
And ran into a team where, you know,
they're all around good.
They came out hot again they were a little cold, but they like getting that rust off.
Yeah.
And made us push at the end, like really like storm back. They had like a double-digit deficit.
Yeah.
And made it close at the end, but
yeah.
I gotta lean Last Crusade. It hurts. It hurts because I feel like Mad Max is made for this bracket, but
yeah, I just think as an action bracket, I can't.
You can't let them go.
I can't.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of the movie. It's just the action.
Yeah. It's two different philosophies for sure.
It is. It's definitely one is very like,
yeah.
One is more all around, the good at defense and offense and plays. Yeah. One is like, we're good at shooting threes.
Yeah. Yeah.
We suck at defense, but man, we can hit some threes.
Yeah.
To make it
kind of small ball.
Yeah.
But yeah. I get it, man. It's not an easy decision.
No.
So you leading Mad Max?
I am.
Okay.
I don't think I can get off of it.
All right.
Last Crusade, 84%.
Ooh. Wow. I think you've got this one again, Travis.
At 97%, Mad Max.
Wow. These are some high percentages. Mad Max moves on.
The audience score beat it too. Beat the audience for Last Crusade.
We've got our first of the final four.
First of the final
cemented.
four. Mad Max.
All right. Now we've got one that I honestly don't know where I'm going to lean. We've got Terminator 2 Judgment Day.
Oh, no.
Versus The Matrix.
Oh.
This is one where it's like awful bracket. Just terrible luck.
Yeah, terrible matchups.
This
could have been the final.
I feel like these two were like two that on Selection Sunday were like going back and forth as like potential one seeds in other regions, and just one of them was the fifth best.
Dang,
and made it in the same bracket.
Yeah.
I don't have kids, Travis, but this is like. This is Sophie's choice for me.
Yes. My favorite child. Who is
I know.
This is an unfortunate matchup.
Yeah.
Especially in the Elite Eight. You're like, this is definitely a Final Four.
Two legitimate contenders. Yeah. Do you have a first instinct on this one?
I do.
You do?
But it's like the ranking of Mission Impossibles.
Yeah.
The advantage is very,
very
slight.
Yeah. I feel like both of these, to a very significant margin, affected or impacted the action genre. Drastically. Both in terms of like special effects.
All of it.
Yeah.
They were pioneer movies for the decades to come.
Maybe the two premier sci-fi action movies ever.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there's any others in that list, but Independence Day maybe. But no, you got two premier action stars at the height of their power.
Yeah.
Keanu and Arnold.
Yeah, this is just unfortunate.
We didn't have a lot of Arnold in our
no,
separate lists that we combined. Not that I don't love me some Arnold.
No, I mean this is obviously the
pinnacle,
the peak of two crazy careers.
Yeah,
but I don't even know.
And similarly,
this one might go to 4 overtimes.
Yeah, for sure.
It just doesn't end.
I think similarly with these two, like after these particular movies, it kind of went downhill for people.
Yeah.
Like I consider myself an apologist on both series for most of it, but I can't deny that's kind of the public perception
Right,
with both
right.
these series, but
Dude, this one's unfortunate.
yeah,
And again, in the tournaments, somebody's got to move on.
yeah,
You can't have both move on at this point. It's tough.
yeah.
Again, clear argument for both. Clear.
Is there anything that's like a slight tipping point for you?
Yes.
Okay, let's hear it.
What is emulated more and what is copied more?
Okay.
So to me, that's more impactful
Yeah.
as a movie than the other.
Yeah.
And so that's why I think Matrix wins.
Yeah, Travis. This is literally as much of a flip of a coin as
It's honestly heartbreaking
it
that
is.
this happened.
It is. And it's no hard feelings to either movie, whichever we decide.
Yeah.
You're leaning Matrix. I think I am too.
The thing is, I kind of like T2 a little more than Matrix, but I think in a bracket like this, we need to weigh like the impact that the movie had.
And I mean, we have kind of favored like the original in a series.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think, we've already expressed our love for Keanu,
And this movie was on another level when you saw it for the first time. It blew your mind.
You want to hear something funny, Travis?
Yes.
In contention for my favorite movie of all time. The first time I saw it, fell asleep.
Sometimes that
Crazy
happens.
crazy things, Travis. But
You didn't know what you're missing.
I know. I think because it would be unfathomable to have 3 Keanu movies on this bracket and one of them not make it to the final 4.
Yeah.
I
think it has to.
I think it moves on by a hair.
By a hair.
By a hair.
By a hair. But again, you think about when you finished watching it for you the second time, what were you like? T2, you're like, that was great.
Yeah.
But you weren't like, I want to watch it again right now. Like, that's how that felt. Like, you had to, find out everything about it. You were, obsessed with it. Because you're like, that blew my head off.
Yeah.
So I think that's why it has to win.
It moves on. All right.
All right, next matchup.
We got half our final 4 set.
All right.
Next matchup's a little bit more of a wild card one.
Okay.
We've got Kill Bill and Mission Impossible Fallout.
Yeah, that's
2 very
kind of a surprise to be, especially the last 2 matchups. You're like, yes,
these 2 found themselves in a very kind region.
Yeah.
They not that there wasn't good competition to get to where they are, but they obviously found themselves in a bracket with probably the weakest 1 seed.
Yeah.
The most vulnerable.
Yep.
And, they just kind of navigated the way. Probably 2 power conference teams that, happen to be in conference with better teams that ended up being higher seeds. But, they were never in question of making the tournament.
Right.
They just kind of got in and just had a couple, 2 or 3 game runs here.
Yeah. This one I feel like is a kind of a lower scoring game. Not really both high powered offenses, but it's still a close game.
Yeah.
This one's strange. It's a strange matchup to me.
Yeah, I mean,
it's hard to compare them.
Yeah, one has so many other comparisons and an entire franchise that it's a part of that's kind of on one hand propelling it forward for that reason because you have that additional context.
Yeah.
But also almost detracting from it because it's we even admitted it was difficult to narrow down is that even the best Mission Impossible movie?
Right.
that's what we decided was.
Right.
But, but also, is that a reason to punish it? Because the Mission Impossible series might be the premier action series.
Yeah. And, I mean, with Kill Bill, it's definitely just, a one-off revenge story driven by the action in it.
Yeah. Great performances.
Yeah.
Really, really recognizable, iconic characters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like
it's you can just pick them out and
like a story
know what
book.
it is. Yeah. Yeah. Yikes.
Yikes indeed, Travis.
Yikes. I don't know.
Yeah. I feel like
let's just say I wouldn't have bet money on this matchup.
Yeah.
For a winner.
Yeah.
Like, to me, each of them have this. It's like this. You're playing the same team. Almost.
It's like two teams from the same conference that have familiarity with each other. Like, they just wound up in the same bracket and now are facing each other for the third time this season.
Yeah. I think the only way to judge this one for me, Mission Impossible is one you can watch easy. It's an easier watch, I think, than Kill Bill.
I'd agree with that.
And so, but I don't know, does that justify it to move on? Because it's an easier watch.
Yeah.
Which one has cooler action sequences? They both have really cool sequences.
Cool. Yeah. I think it also comes down as well to like what kind of action hits you more. Because they're two different kinds of action, And not that I don't like both, but I think I'm leaning one way just because of how the action's presented to me. Mm-hmm. I like a little bit more. And so I think at this point in time, another close matchup, kind of weird game, maybe a lot of fouls, kind of like a choppy game.
Yeah.
I think I'm leaning Fallout on this one.
I think I am too.
Yeah.
It's just an easier sit down watch and get into the action than the other one.
Yeah.
The other one might have more action, but
yeah, I
think Fallout beats it.
I agree. All right, we got Fallout, a surprise,
surprise Final Four.
A surprise, yeah. I feel like we have a couple surprises in the Final Four so far. It's definitely hasn't gone chalk.
No.
All right. This one, why is the bottom of the bracket so brutal?
I don't know.
We've got Die Hard versus Lethal Weapon.
Golly.
The premier Die Hard movie.
Yeah.
Versus the torchbearer for buddy cop action comedies.
Get very similar feel. This one's more comparable than the last matchup.
For sure.
You definitely see how both teams play.
Yeah.
And they're very similar. So
came out around the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Both kind of grittier.
Yeah.
Grittier feel to them.
Both kind of like...
Both take place in LA.
Not an unhinged... Both have unhinged main characters, but characters who just kind of like don't follow the book and still get it done.
Yeah.
In their own way.
Neither of the main characters between John McClane, Riggs, and Murtaugh, they're all fallible.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing I think I love in an action movie for me. Like, I tend to gravitate towards that fallible action hero, the unwitting, they're taking the lead because they have to.
Yeah.
Because of the situation that's presented to them, but they're not a trained assassin who
they don't normally do this. Yeah, it's just like they'll step up in the moment of need.
Yeah.
And this is definitely an interesting matchup. I think deep down I know where I'm going.
Again, it's there are some movies in this bracket that they've got all the recruits.
Mm-hmm. They're getting the most draft picks.
You can recruit as best you can to build a respectable roster. The coaching might be top notch.
Yep.
But talent wins out sometimes.
Sometimes.
Most times.
Yeah.
And I think that's the case with Die Hard.
I think so.
It's Lethal Weapon's great.
Yeah.
I love all the Lethal Weapon movies.
Yep. They're fun. They're great. But I think Die Hard's a flagship of the action genre.
That's a good way to put it. Die Hard is a flagship.
So therefore it moves on.
It moves on.
I tell you, all these picks we had, not the final four I envisioned. Mm-hmm. Some surprises. Some definitely thought would be the final two matchup.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting.
I think I know where this is going, but I still want to have the conversation.
Let's have the conversation.
Okay, so we got our final four.
Yep.
The final four are Mad Max Fury Road, The Matrix,
yep,
Mission Impossible, Fallout, Die Hard.
To me, Mission Impossible is this Cinderella story that made it a lot further than people thought it would.
Yeah, Mission Impossible, Fallout, I think is the... they're not a 12 seed that made it to the final four.
They're not a complete underdog, but definitely a surprise.
They knocked out the 1 seed in the second round and were able to carry that.
Yep.
We're already talking about them. I guess let's go ahead and start there.
Let's start there.
I feel like this might be a quick matchup.
I think it's...
we got Mission Impossible, Fallout versus Die Hard.
Yep.
Two iconic characters. All four people, all four movies in the final four have iconic characters.
Yeah. And they're movies that you say the name, you know exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Whether you've seen it or not, you have something to reference when someone says that.
Yeah.
I think all four have that.
Yeah.
There's like a scene that you connect it to.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool for the final four to have all iconic moments that you can picture.
Yeah. There's a reason they got there.
Yeah.
Like something pushes these movies over the edge.
Yeah.
And they're given matchups. Like, it was inevitable we were going to get an Ethan Hunt versus John McClane.
Yeah. Yeah.
In the final, at the end of the bracket.
Yeah. I think Mission Impossible started stronger. They kept it close longer than people thought, but I think in the second half, Die Hard blew it open and moved on pretty easily.
That's kind of how I envisioned the game too.
Yeah.
Like halftime, it was like you still got a fighting chance. Like it's like an 8-point lead.
Yep.
It's like within striking distance, you put together a few stops.
Yep.
This game's going to be tight.
But didn't they went
cold.
A 16-0 run. And
yeah. It was one of those things where like Die Hard just had the firepower.
Yep.
Mission Impossible was like,
happy
trying
to
keep up.
Yeah.
They hit a few threes to kind of keep it within like arm's length, but
never grasp it.
Never grasp it. It's got to be Die Hard moving forward. Yep. This was pretty inevitable, I think.
I think so.
It claimed its rightful spot in the final. Who knows where the ultimate matchup ends up? But Die Hard moves on. Okay.
Yep.
Our next final four matchup.
Yep.
This one is interesting. I think this one is a fairly easy pick too, but I think there's still conversation to be had. So
I do think this game was a lot closer. The whole game.
Mad Max has so much firepower.
Well, and I think they played differently than Matrix thought.
Yeah.
Is how I see it. Like they're like, all right, our plan is to stop this, and then they did something else, and they were like,
yeah,
we're not ready. So it caught them off guard.
Yeah, this
is how I feel that game going.
Yeah, like Fury Road might have come out and got a double-digit lead.
Yeah.
Like early.
Yeah.
Like really early. Like,
They were doing things.
15-2 run to start the game.
Well, and they had a player that scored 12 points that hadn't scored any points. And you're just like, who the heck is this? What is happening?
Just draining threes left and right.
Yeah.
Few misses by the Matrix, and it's like,
what?
Timeout.
Yeah, timeout. We gotta regather ourselves.
But this matchup is I think for the first time Fury Road in this bracket has come up against a movie that whereas before it was like unmatched in like the amount of action.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of met its match. Like,
Yeah.
it's right there. They're right neck and neck in terms of that. But as a movie, as a story, just the whole package that the Matrix brings, it's tough.
I think the Matrix won by like 8 points. You felt like even at the end it could have happened, but those 8 points were a lot further away than they seemed.
The score was closer than what it actually was.
Yeah.
It was a valiant effort.
Yeah.
But I think the Matrix moves on
so too.
For the simple reason of how it pushes the genre forward.
Yeah.
It's got our favorite action star.
Hey, 2 flagships in the championship.
2 flagships.
Which is what you expect in the championship.
I think this is how it was supposed to go, Travis.
I think so.
You know, that the matchups were wacky.
Yep.
We had no idea what they were going to be.
No idea.
There were a few that were coin flips. Maybe if they went the other way, we would have had a different discussion.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, I mean, when you think action, there are maybe 2 other movies on this list at most that have that are part of the conversation.
Yeah.
But these 2 might be the trump cards.
Yeah. Yeah, these are who you want to see in the final 2 of a bracket of action movies.
Yeah.
They both have all the elements that you want. They're just both flat out fun to watch.
Yeah.
And be a part of. That's it.
Infinitely quotable.
Yep.
Equally iconic.
Yeah.
You know, I would say the Matrix maybe pushed the genre forward in terms of stylistically.
Yeah.
It did. But in terms of action movie format, Die Hard is kind of the standard bearer there.
It is. I mean, still to this day.
Yeah. Die Hard on a bus, Die Hard on a plane, Die Hard on a train, Die Hard on a... I mean...
It's just... Yeah, to me, this is like the historic program.
Yeah.
That has 10 championships.
Kentucky versus North Carolina.
Yeah, and the other one also.
Except in this bracket, I actually want to see this matchup.
yeah, exactly. It's tough. It's tough. Right now, I don't know how the game's going.
This one's tight the whole way through.
Yeah, it's close. It's just back and forth.
Back and forth. I don't think anyone really has big leads throughout. One team will make a few baskets, the other team will match it.
Yep. It's endless.
Stylistically, they're different, but it's tight. It's got all the stars. It's got the coaches.
Yeah. I don't know. I honestly don't.
I don't know where I'm leaning with this one either.
I'm not sure.
This is, I think, equally as tough as T2 and Matrix when that happened.
Yeah. This one's tough.
Matrix has had the toughest road getting here.
It has, and it's shown up when it's needed to.
Yeah.
I definitely would not. Whoever wins this, I'm not upset that they won.
No.
It's definitely it's not clean cut to me. It's again, what mood are you in?
Exactly.
They both offered different experiences, but again, you can't define the action genre without either of them.
No.
Today.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, the heroes are different.
Know.
I think the Matrix is interesting because kind of like we talked about before. I like a hero that's fallible, that has weaknesses. They're not just overpowered.
Yeah.
Obviously talking that way, that's John McClane in a nutshell. Highly capable, but extremely fallible.
Yeah.
Matrix is weird because it kind of gives you both.
Yeah. Yeah.
Obviously, Neo with his full powers, unstoppable for the most part. But you also kind of only get that at the end.
It's true.
There's a kind of a standard hero's journey with the Matrix. more so than with Die Hard.
Yeah.
Um,
I think one thing I'm going to consider is relatability.
yeah.
And I feel like Die Hard is more relatable to people. Because some people can't get into the Matrix. It is
Some people can't comprehend the Matrix.
Right. It is a lot. And so I think if you're like putting these two, like watch one of these,
Yeah.
I feel like Die Hard would get picked more.
If you're in the mood for a mind trip, obviously Matrix. If you're in the mood for more like iconic action, like fighting, like martial art, like that kind of action, obviously Matrix. I think when you look at the main characters, I think for the most part equally iconic, but like you said, John McClane a little bit more relatable. I think when you look at the villains of the movie, both amazing villains with Agent Smith and Hans Gruber. I mean, it's truly apples and oranges in terms of the kind of movies.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. It's really hard. I agree with what you're saying in terms of relatability. I think like one movie has just the slightly more iconic characters in it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you're thinking of the same one, but
Mad Max. We're still talking about that,
Fury
right?
Road. Immortus Joe.
So relatable, just
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. This is the true coin flip.
It really is. And you know what's funny? This is what I simulated if there was going to be a tie in the first round. These two.
Could you imagine this was a first round matchup?
We'd still be in the first round, I think.
I know.
Yeah, the only thing I can weigh it on is which one do I watch more? Which one do I like more?
Yeah.
And again,
I don't really
what day of the week is it?
Yeah.
Obviously, I watch Die Hard more because I watch it every year.
Yeah, Christmas.
But that doesn't mean I don't watch The Matrix every year either. It's just not a set time.
Yeah.
The Matrix iconic scene. Then Die Hard doesn't have an iconic scene to me as it is as a whole.
Interesting.
Bullet time.
I think that's fair.
Been imitated ever since it came out.
I would push back. I agree that to an extent. I think that The Matrix has the more iconic scene. But I would, kind of counter with, jumping off the top of the building as it explodes, the helicopter, Hans Gruber falling to his death.
Yeah.
With the yippee-ki-yay.
It's the toughest matchup I can think of.
And it should be. It's the final.
It shouldn't be a clear-cut winner.
I think I'm leaning one way, and I don't know if I was leaning that way when we started our discussion. But I think I have my choice.
Okay.
Do you have yours?
Yes.
Should we say it at the count of 3? No, I'm kidding. I'll give mine away.
All right.
I'm leaning Die Hard for the simple reason, we gave a number of reasons why either movie could have been picked. We talked about both movies, both immediate and lasting impact.
Yep.
I think Die Hard had impact in more ways than The Matrix.
Yeah.
And so for that reason, that's why it tips it by just a hair for me.
Yep. And I'm also leaning Die Hard.
Wow.
Very tough, but I don't know if we get to The Matrix without Die Hard. And I know it's hard to say because obviously
Yeah.
They're not connected, but do we get all the way here?
Yeah.
I don't know. And I cannot not think of Die Hard.
When you say action movie, it's like
That's the first
Die Hard.
one.
yeah.
And then you build the list from there.
Yeah.
And so I think it has to win. I think it has to win.
All right. We have it, Travis.
We have it.
Die Hard.
Die Hard is the greatest action
The
movie.
grand champion of Cinema Clubhouse's March Madness action bracket.
Die Hard's the winner.
I think it was always going to come to that. You know, there were arguments to be made different.
I think Die Hard was always going to make the finals.
Yeah.
I didn't know if it was always going to win.
Yeah.
And this is the matchup that
You most feared. Maybe.
I didn't want in the final. But yeah, but again, valiant effort from the Matrix. They're still champions. They'll be back.
Yeah.
But you can't win. Not everybody can win every year.
Not everybody wins. You just got one champion, but Die Hard.
Die Hard, the winner of our action bracket.
Yeah.
Love it.
Take it to the bank. That's our number one.
That's it.
I don't think it's that big of a surprise to most people.
Nope.
I think a lot of people would have the same, same
Similar.
result.
Yeah. First of a couple more brackets we're going to be doing during
more.
March Madness.
Yeah.
So we're also going to be hitting comedy and horror. So hopefully those are a little easier.
I doubt they will be,
I
Travis.
doubt they will be.
What did you guys think? What did we royally screw up? What movie do you think should have won? Would you have had different movies on your bracket? Probably. Let us know in the comments what movies those would be, or what your ultimate champion would be at March Madness bracket. While you're there, leave us a like, subscribe to the channel, come back for more brackets in the coming weeks, and we'll see you again here on Cinema Clubhouse.